I don't even know. And I'm like, I don't even know. Like,
So when you...
so many thoughts. So many thoughts.
What were you reading in Romans?
About how, like, so many different things. The craziest one was, I think it was 10. It was talking about how, like, obviously, like, I think it's so popular and I think everybody knows it, that it's like God forgave us when we had, like, no, like, worthiness to him.
Oh yeah, like
we
before what they were
just
talked about at the last place.
Yeah. But then it goes in to say, like, the only way to, like, reach salvation is through him, and, like, all these different things about how why can't I remember the one that was like, crap, I can't remember. I could pull it up and show you. But it's just like it's one thing to, like, read it and be like, okay, this is a rule, and then it's another thing to read it and be like, oh my gosh, like, why do I feel like this is like, it's just, like, weird, like, there's so many weird things going on.
What do you mean there's so many weird things?
I don't even know, like, because it's just crazy.
What do you mean? I don't know what that means.
I don't know. It's just so weird. Okay, so for example, there was in one of the devotionals, the girl was talking about how she feels like so many times it's like a process, like it's never like you just wake up one day and you're Christian, or it's never like you just wake up one day and, like, you were working for something and now all of a sudden you have it. It's just there. Like, everything is like a process. And she, like, used the metaphor of like the seasons. Like, it's not like you wake up one day and, like, everything's fall. Like, it's like the leaves start falling and the trees start doing this and the flowers and everything. And, like, the same thing with spring. It's not like all of a sudden everything blooms at the same time. It's like really gradual. And I feel like that's literally exactly what happened to me, like, with Christianity. Like, it wasn't like I was raised a Christian, and it wasn't like I just was, like, popped out of the womb and I was a Christian. Like, it's something that has been, like and so dwindled with. Like, it wasn't like I was open-minded to Christianity, and then eventually I decided, now I'm 25 and I want to be a Christian more so. Like, I feel like a lot of people were raised Christian, and they were like...
You did not like Christians when I met you.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, literally, I was raised not even knowing what Christianity was, except for that my neighbor went to religion class and I didn't. That's all I knew. Courtney went to religion class, and my parents were never, like, talking down on her. Like, they were never like, oh, she goes to religion and you don't need that. It was always just like, she does it and you don't. It's like, oh, okay. Like, people do sports, some people don't do sports. It's not like one's better than the other. It's just like what people do. Like, that's how I thought religion was. Like, oh, her family does that. That's cool. We don't. So, like, that's how I was raised until I was 12. And then my grandmother started talking about religion with me, and she was like, I don't know if I told you this, but I was telling Kim this about how she made it like Christians a week. Like, oh, yeah, I mean, if you need to go to God, like, you can.
That's your grandmother,
like,
you said?
Yeah, the liver one. Like, my grandmother would always talk about how, like, not, like, super rude, just like I'm strong enough that I don't need to do that. And if that works for you, great, but I don't need God. Like, I can do it on my own. And so I was raised like, oh, like, it's weird. Like, I don't need God either. Like, my grandmother doesn't need God. I don't need God. Like, what the heck? And then meeting so many Christians who just are such bad people. Like, I was like, what the heck? Like, those people are Christians? Like, that's all it takes? You have to go to church and just be baptized and you can be an asshole every day? Like, that's so ridiculous. Like, and so I was, like, so many crappy Christians and so many, like, biased perspectives just made me like, okay, there's no way that I'm ever gonna do that. Like, I respect Christians, and if that works for them, great, but that I'm not gonna do that because it's just not gonna work for me. And then, like, now I'm like reading the Bible, like, how crazy is that? How freaking crazy! I'm like, are you a child of God? Like, I guess so. Like, what? Oh my God. And excuse me, but, like, and then I was reading, and then they were talking about how, like, the only, like, God implants, like, your, like, desire to, like,
to be with him, or
yeah,
like, to know him.
to, like, go after and like do all this stuff I've been doing. Because before I read that, I was like, yeah, God's kind of spoken to me. Like, I guess, like, I kind of feel his presence when I'm in church, and, like, I kind of, like, leave after talking to Kim, and I'm, like, crazy, mind blown.
Yeah.
But then it was like, God creates the desire. Like, nobody else does. People can show you, like, examples, and they can, like, show you what God's done, but they're never gonna give you the desire only God can. And I was like, God spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, bitch.
Yeah, because you are like super ecstatic. I've not seen you as ecstatic
like,
about those things.
oh
like
my
your
gosh,
smile right now.
It's just so crazy. It's just so crazy to think like, wow, like he actually had like all this stuff. This isn't just me being like, oh, I want to explore it. Like at first it was like, oh, I want to educate myself. And ever since then, I think God was like, hey, like I have so much to work with. Like let me work with you. Like let us do this. Like go to church. Go after somebody who's a Christian. Like go buy those books. Like go talk to Kim Moore. Join that group of girls. Oh my God. I need to stop saying oh my God, but oh my God. Oh my goodness. It's just so crazy. It's just like I just have so many thoughts.
We didn't buy BasicCon tickets.
It might still they're gonna be at a price now.
We gotta buy BasicCon tickets.
Well look, I mean, has it been 4 days?
I think so. Almost. Maybe it's not 4 days
Maybe
yet.
It's not 4 days until midnight.
You should buy it.
We have 1 hour.
Yeah.
I don't think I have enough money for a credit card.